I'll turn the microphones on. Ooh, I can hear a little feedback, so I guess we're on. Everybody make sure you speak in your mics tonight. And a very good evening, 3 minutes after 7, and welcome to the regular meeting of the Bedminster Township Committee. We have all 5 members in attendance tonight. It is April 17th, 2017, and I'd like to call the meeting to order with the Open Public Meetings Act statement.
Adequate notice of this meeting of the Township Committee was sent to the Courier News in Somerville and the Burnetsville News in Burnetsville to all subscribers, and also posted here at the Municipal Building as of January 9th, 2017.
I'd like you all to join in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Meeting minutes. We have one set of meeting minutes from April 3rd. Any comments or questions? And if not, I'll take a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Permit raffles, we have 3 tonight. Raffle license for the Cancer Support Community, Central New Jersey, June the 3rd, 2017, 9 a.m. to noon, and that's at the Cancer Support Community Headquarters, 3 Crossroads Drive. That's an on-premise 50/50. We have a raffle license for the Friends of Somerset Regional Animal Shelter. That'll be September 11th, 2017, 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., Trump National Golf Club, 900 Lamington Road, an on-premise 50/50. And finally, a raffle license for the Friends of Somerset Regional Animal Shelter, September 11th, 2017, 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., Trump National, 900 Lamington Road, and on-premise merchandise. Any comments or questions on any of those? And if not, I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Which is to the portion of the agenda we do twice every meeting, which is public comment. If you wish to be heard, step up to that microphone, state your name, your address for the audio recording, and state your case.
Good evening, Mayor. Bernie Payne, Autumn Ridge Road, Bedminster. Hello, everyone.
Hey, Bernie.
I'm just here to give a little report on the property tax card program, which has now been up and running for 2.5 months. And I have some statistics. Currently, there are 137 actual households that are registered. 106 are actual property owners, 31 are renters, and there's about 170 cards associated with that. Total spending in 2.5 months. This is the total revenue that was utilized by the merchants through the card. $9,527, which is a pretty robust number for 2.5 months, and essentially 137 households, and generated credits of about $1,100. So that's where the average 10% rebate comes in. New merchants that have just signed up are Lumi Z Restaurant, and effective May 1st, Sakana. That's the new Japanese restaurant. New owner, used to in the King Shopping Center, used to be Toro, I think. The card, there's a display at the library now. 3 master associations have a display. Of course, there's a display here at Town Hall, both at the branches of the PPAC Gladstone Bank in Far Hills and Bedminster, and of course at participating merchants. And I were talking earlier, and we're going to have a little table and display and at Spring Fling, so we hope to give away a couple of 100 cards there. What's interesting about the Master Association, I went to Village North today, and now time when they start handing out all the pool passes. So they gave out 20 cards today. As people came in with the pool passes, they gave them a card. So I think that's gonna be very good at right timing. How the program's gonna work is that April 30th is the cutoff date for reward to be given in the 3rd quarter tax bill. So anything after April 30th will then accumulate until 2018. So get out and use your card right away if you want to see it on this year's tax bill as opposed to next year's tax bill. So it accumulates for 1 year. April 30th is the cutoff date for the upcoming year. Okay? And that's it. Thank you.
Bernie, quick question.
Yeah.
Would you know how the 9,500 was spent among the vendors?
Yeah, that is available. I don't have that information with me, but they do break it down to vendors. It's somewhat a proprietary. They don't like to say, hey, this restaurant did this much and this one did that much, that they can kind of put it out there generically sometimes.
Okay, great.
So,
All right,
Okay,
we'll
great.
keep growing, I'm sure.
thank you.
Thank you for the update, Bernie.
Anything else? All right, let's move to monthly reports by our subcommittee chairs. Start with Mr. Stevenson.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have anything this time around. My meetings are coming up in the next week.
All right, Ms. Olson?
Also, my meetings are this week, and I would just add, for Ms. Santucci's benefit, I do finally have a follow-up meeting scheduled with Chief Lynch in our fire department discussions. We can meet tomorrow at 1 o'clock. I said that would be fine. Maybe I could go do that on our behalf and then schedule another one, whatever you're most comfortable with, but that just popped up on the calendar this afternoon, so free. I figured I could cover that, and then
We can talk about the follow-up.
we'll do follow-up together and schedule, obviously. But he threw that out, and I said, well, let me check with my colleague, and
Thank you.
so whatever our preference is. So I'll have a more robust report next time.
Very good. Mr. Jacobs?
As Doug and Ken said, meetings coming up this week. I did have a sit-down with Beth Davison and Jim Christie from Open Space and Colin Hickey from Environmental. And we had a sit-down actually with Beth Davison, and we sort of worked through NJCF's role on open space and also with environmental, and how there's plenty of opportunity for the two committees to work together, and how NJCF can identify grants, both not just open space grants, but also from the environmental side as well. I think both Jim and Colin are going to go back to their respective committees and do a little presentation. And this is all as a lead up to our May 3rd meeting, which will actually be the first time, as far as I know, that we are doing a joint meeting with environmental, open space, and recreation. So we're going to have all three committees together, and Beth may or may not be in attendance. And I know the chairs are working together an agenda, and should be a robust meeting.
I will only caution the township committee members, if you have three groups meeting, we can't have three TC members.
We've already,
on that day.
So have you all figured that out?
already
That's all right.
covered that.
Just so long as, yeah, but that's good. Very loud. All right,
Okay, that's it.
Ms. Tucci?
Yeah, had our open space meeting scheduled. We were not able to have a quorum, but we did talk briefly about the May 3rd meeting to make sure that all the members know about that. And we're also talking about having Beth just come and talk to the open space committee, because she really hasn't been there in a little bit. So, and I know they're all, looking for more meaningful ways to participate. But we also talked about updating our Green Acres certification. I know that's on the docket, and Mr. Banish and Beth Davison are going to be working on that, along with us as well.
All right. We had a land use board meeting, but the land use board meeting was only zoning board of adjustment, so Mr. Jacobs and I were not, did you go to was there a little planning at the beginning?
There was, I think it was about 1 minute worth,
Okay.
and they had no other matters that night.
We also had a meeting with some of our professionals last week, talking about two different topics. One was affordable housing, and one was on some zoning proposed, and more to follow on both of those. But it was productive in that we got a lot of professionals from different committees to sit down and help us figure out what's what, especially on COA. So I appreciate the participation on that, and more to follow on that. That I have. Oh, I do want to comment on just a couple things. I do want to thank the Far Hills Bedminster Fire Department and our Recreation Committee and everybody else that came out for the Easter egg hunts over in the neighboring parade field over in Far Hills, the Easter egg hunt lasted all of 30 seconds, 3,000 eggs out there, and in the blink of an eye, they're all gone, the kids all get them, but we had fantastic weather for it, a great turnout. If you're looking for what makes small community like Bedminster and Far Hills great, it's an event like that where you see all the folks come together, and all our volunteers did a great job, so please pass along my thank you on that. And with that, we will go to our administrator's report, Ms. Sullivan.
Just a couple things. Atlantic Health has reached out to us and offered to donate an AE. We had one here in the building, but it expired. It needed to be replaced. They're only good for so many years. And they also offered to donate it and train up to 25 employees for free.
Oh, that's
So
great.
we are working on replacing the AED we had with that program here at the municipal building. Police are out in force with our distracted driving campaign, which is funded through a grant that we received. It's going on now through April 21st. So you drive, you text, you pay. So that's ongoing. The no stopping and standing signage that was proposed for Leamington Road has been installed, correct, John? Not all yet? Not all yet. And it's being put in place by the county. And in front of you, you have information about the JIF online training for elected officials. This training is offered annually, every year. And for each elected official that does the training online, I think it's maybe 20 to 30 minutes, we receive $250 off our 2018 insurance. So I would encourage you, it must be completed by May 1st for us to get the credit. So if you have time, you can do it on your computer. It's an online. It's the same. It hasn't changed. If you did it last year, it's the same one. But it registers when you log on that you did it, and we get credit. So
Easy money.
it's an easy training to do. And that's all I have.
All right. Discussion on introduced ordinances. I don't believe we have any. Introduction of ordinances. We don't have anything new for tonight. Public hearing on ordinances. Nothing specific. We do have the budget coming up in a little bit. Consent agenda. Do we have anything on the consent agenda?
No.
Not specifically. We do have some specific resolutions, and I'll start with Resolution 2017-051, which is what we were just alluding to, and the adoption of the 2017 budget. I tell you what, let me do the other two first, and then we can spend a little bit of time on the budget. How about we'll go to Resolution 2017-050?
I can't do
Oh,
until 51 is done.
that's what I get
We
for not
can-
reading ahead. All right.
53.
There's a reason you put it in that order. All right. All right. This will be a public hearing on the 2017 municipal budget, Resolution 2017-051. And it was introduced on March the 20th by Resolution 2017-044. Tonight is the public hearing, and let me read the...
Let's get a resolution to open, or a motion to open the public hearing. You can
Second.
read that. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right. So now I'll start by, be it resolved that by the Township Committee of the Township of Bedminster, the County of Somerset, that the budget herein before set forth is hereby adopted and shall constitute an appropriation for the purposes stated of the sums therein set forth as appropriations and authorization of amount of $6,659,129.10 for municipal purposes. Do not have a figure for the school purpose, or school, or for the county. We do have $368,544 for open space, recreation, farmland, and historic preservation fund levy, and $836,818, that is for the library. Those are the numbers that we have. There are two numbers that are blank in here. That would be the school, they have not adopted their budget, or the county, which we're not available for. Is there a member of the public that wishes to comment or has any questions on anything with our budget? And I'll entertain any questions or comments from other members of the Township Committee. Well, I'll simply make one comment because I read one of our local papers online, which characterized this as what, a 1.9 increase? No 1.9 anywhere in this budget. So when it made the actual newspaper, the paper publication, they changed the headline, but if you were reading online, the headline was erroneous. So if there's no other questions, I guess, can I get a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Then we'll put out a motion to approve Resolution 2017-051.
So moved.
Second.
This is a roll call vote. Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Mr. Olson?
Aye.
Mr. Jacobs?
Aye.
Ms. Santucci?
Aye.
Mayor Parker?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right. Then let's get to our other resolutions, which kind of dovetail on this. Resolution 2017-052, that's authorizing the employee salaries. Yes, we can't authorize salaries unless we have the budget money behind it. Any comments or questions on the salary structure for 2017? If not, I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Second.
This will be also a roll call vote. Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Mr. Olson?
Aye.
Mr. Jacobs?
Aye.
Ms. Santucci?
Aye.
Mayor Parker?
Aye.
Thank you.
Resolution 2017-053, that is the release of a maintenance bond. That's for Lamington River Farms. Any comments or questions on that?
No, I recusal, Ms. Sullivan.
I will do so.
And our attorney Bellardo is recused from this. With no comments or questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Move.
Second.
Again, roll call vote. Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Mr. Olson?
Aye.
Mr. Jacobs?
Aye.
Ms. Santucci?
Aye.
Mayor Parker?
Aye.
Thank you.
And again, I want to thank everybody involved with this year's budget. Look at what our job is for the entire year. Building and crafting the municipal budget is really most of what we're here for. I mean, that really, all the other things are interesting and nice, and setting ordinances and changing a little policy here and there. But the most important thing we do is set a budget. And again, I want to thank everybody for the hard work this year. Job well done. The best. Can I get a motion to approve the bill list pending the individual invoices?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote. Mr. Stevenson?
Aye.
Mr. Olson?
Aye.
Mr. Jacobs?
Aye.
Ms. Santucci?
Aye.
Mayor Parker?
Aye.
Thank you.
Discussion items. Do we have any new business? Any items that we wish to bring up for discussion tonight?
I actually have a very quick item.
Okay.
If you remember, June 2016, we hired Special Attorney Jonathan Drill to assist us with right-of-way consent agreement with Verizon Wireless. Today, in the mail, I received a similar request from Crown Castle. And I don't know if this is something that Mr. Bellardo would be comfortable with, or if we should consider bringing back.
John has worked on those in Bernard's as well, where he's the planning board attorney over there. It's kind of one of his areas, so rather than reinvent the wheel, and I would
Right,
suggest that
the
you
group
run
has
that
provided
by him.
sample agreements and everything, and I don't, it's kind of all, to me, I don't know if this is good or not good. We can certainly model it after what we did for Verizon, but
What are they asking for? I mean, Verizon, they were trying to put the
very similar,
similar
same thing.
electronic devices
Yeah,
to
with-
expand the network?
With the little pole
Mhm.
things, just like Verizon was.
Did they offer you money?
Yes,
Yeah, they usually do.
yes,
So
they
I would, even if John spent a couple hours on it, I'd have him look at that. I think it would be well spent.
right. So they want to speak with us or come present at a meeting, but before I think we should look at what they're telling us, whether we think it's appropriate and whether John or Mr. Drill would view it. We would need to do a resolution, and I would need to call him and find out, what his requirements would be.
Can we bring them out for our May meeting? First May meeting?
Sure.
Is that appropriate? I mean,
We-
I just need to know more about
Yeah,
what this
We would
is.
need to have a resolution to
Yeah.
appoint Attorney Drill to address this, and then they would come to a meeting to present what they wanted.
I think there's something on the other side of the hill in Bernards and Hills. So, I mean, I can't think that they're doing anything different in Bedminster that they're not in Bernards, but they do offer money, which is somewhat different than Verizon and some of the others.
Who's Crown Castle?
They've taken over a lot of these agreements with T-Mobile and other entities. They've kind of, a lot of these carriers have outsourced it to Crown Castle.
So why don't we can pass it amongst ourselves, look over it, and between now and the next meeting, see if we need to arrange for anybody to come out. I don't say we have to have somebody out for the next
They
meeting,
offer
but
to come to a
but
meeting,
let's,
see
yeah.
what they want to do. They have all
Okay.
their sample documents there. I just need someone to review it and see
Okay.
if it meets our criteria.
All right. Old business. Pub Farm. Anything new?
Ms. Sullivan has received a proposed agreement as to an interested nonprofit corporation. We're going to have Mr. Bellardo take a look, and I haven't really taken a look either, so.
Yeah, it just came over the weekend, so I gave it to Mr. Bellardo.
So we can probably put it on, either for next time after Mr. Bellardo takes a look.
All right.
John, take nothing new is happening over at the Pony Farm?
All right. 11:59:59. All right, anything else? Any other new business, old business? Last call? All right. Then we will move to our second bite of the apple for public comments. If anybody wishes to comment, rules apply the same as the first.
Thank you again, Mayor. Thank you, committee, for your excellent work on the budget. As
Mr. Payne again, Autumn Ridge Road.
Mr. Payne, Autumn Ridge Road. Little quick back of the envelope calculation, at least as the municipal portion is concerned, the Payne household was able to negate any increase in taxes either through the budget or through the assessment issue of the property tax program this year. So
Go.
it's paying dividends already. Thank you.
Very good. No one else? We will move on to Township Committee comments. No? Okay. Mr. Stevenson.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to say that, piggybacking on what Bernie was here talking about, all of the folks here in town that have talked about the Shop Bedminster program are all very much in favor of it. Everybody's very enthusiastic about it. And I just want to thank her for continuing to carry the torch in some capacity afterwards, after coming off the dais here. But thanks for that, and I think it's something that the folks in town appreciate, that we are thinking about tax burden and we're trying to get creative and think outside the box, and it's something that's been very well received from the folks that I've spoken with. So I just encourage us to keep getting the word out, and let's try to keep ramping up vendors. It's really meaningful for everybody.
Thank Bernie for your diligence and ongoing report. It's a real model effort. On a lighter note, regarding our budget process this year, I'd have to say that the menu increased.
I wouldn't put it on a lighter note. It was,
It should be something next year. A new bar has been established. So.
A bar may be good for next year.
might be. Explain a little bit, a bit of a tradition in years past, because the budget isn't always the most enjoyable process. We used to bring candy. So the more chocolate and more sour balls you had, probably the rougher the budget year. This year it went up to full. One meeting was pizza, one meeting was Chinese food. We had all sorts of, everybody took their turn bringing.
Coping mechanisms.
Yeah, I guess. All right. Mr. Jacobs.
This has been said at multiple meetings, and I'll say it again during the budget session. The amount of work and consults provided by Chief, by John Nance, and by Deb Stern, and of course by Judy Sullivan, is once again, it's remarkable. It's extra hours, certainly, going to those meetings, and those meetings drag on for a long time. And just want to let you all know that your service and your dedication is acknowledged and greatly appreciated. Thank you.
That's it. Ms. Santucci?
I can only imagine how much longer it would take if they didn't really prepare for us so many hours, so I agree. I thank you, and I also wanted to mention Spring Fling is coming up April 28th, Friday. We'll keep talking about it.
I'll add, we've got some other dates that folks may be, the Spring Fling is the 28th. I think there's a Jacobus Vanderveer House fundraiser also that night at a different location. Those are both worthy causes. I know the Board of Ed is going to have their second to last budget meeting this coming Thursday, the 20th, and then going to go for their final adoption on the 27th. And, you know, they had a much more difficult road than we've got because they have to deal with an outside entity that's throwing them charges that go well beyond the 2% increase. And so we certainly want to support what our friends at the Board of Ed are doing. And, you know, I say this every year, so I'll say it again. We think we're done with the budget season here with the adoption of the budget, but in this day and age, budget season is all year round. And again, another thank you to the staff, because we get to the January, the beginning of our budget process, and we're usually very fortunate because our reserve is usually well taken care of. Why? Because the administration here is looking at the budget all year round, and they are looking at items that are, you know, a little bit above and trying to head off problems during the year so that we don't come to the end of the year with oh my God, we got to transfer a lot of money here and there because of unforeseen problems. So that's a big hats off to all the members of the staff and all the employees, because everybody chips in on that. But the other thing too is, as we look to all levels of government here in New Jersey, and it's a look at the governor's race, and the budget is a huge problem down in Trenton. They instituted a 2% cap, and I know my predecessor used to say, you know, that's only going to last a couple of years, and then if there's any inflation at all, everybody's going to be in trouble. And I think our friends down at the school are going through that, not because there's inflation per se in the economy, but they've got inflation with the high school district. But the philosophy behind the 2% cap was not just to keep spending at 2%, but it's like a game of musical chairs. And the idea is that you've got a cap, you've got to think outside the box. You've got to find different ways to do it. You've got to work with other entities. You've got to work with other towns. We've done a very good job in-house, and most governmental entities do a pretty good job onto themselves as an island. The tough part is working with other communities and working with other areas so that we aren't duplicating costs and efforts. And that, I've been at this for 7, 8 years now, and it's still tough to do, to talk to folks in other towns and get them to see that if we do things together, we can save a lot more money. But that's something that we've all got to look forward to. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox. We've actually had a fairly short meeting tonight. We do have a brief executive session, but we don't have any action coming out of executive session that we'll be voting on. So I will take a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. We'll see you in the back.